Hey, let's talk Honeybuzz. This is one of the games that we got from Gen Con, and it was one that I was really looking forward to, and it did not disappoint. They had a lot of extra things you could buy with it, which you're going to see here in the video, but we are going to break this box down, and then we're going to have a separate video where we got to play it so that you can see how it's played. So first off, what comes in the box? So the contents here, you are going to have one hive board, which is the one where all of your worker bees go to do their work. You've got the woodland board where you go to forage, getting your honey and your pollen, and then also going to the market to sell what you've got. You've got 40 worker beeples, which these are going to be wood from this one since we got the collector's edition, and it's 10 people each. You got 4 forage beeples, which are the fuzzy ones you'll see in the video, and those are your worker bees that go for the foraging on the forage board or the woodland board. You've got 4 fan meeples, which are the things you need to be able to create the honey, and you'll see here in that little corner and farther in the video. You've got 4 player boards, which are just your home bases, 4 player aids, which are like your cheat sheets, 16 starting hive tiles, which 4 for each person, 63 standard hive tiles, which most of those are going into your fanning and your foraging, 24 nectar tiles, which ours are the acrylic ones. They're the much thicker and heavy dutier ones than the cardboard, but those are your nectar or your honey. You've got 60 coins, which is broken up into 20s, 10s, 5s, and 1s. You've got 15 pollen, which is the acrylic ones, and then 15 pollen for the resin ones. Those look like they're in little brown trunks that you'll see here. As far as gameplay goes, there is no difference. You can use either ones. It's just they give you some fancier ones for getting the collector's edition. You have 28 honey, which they are, as it says, squishy plastic. They are that weird plastic that kind of sticks to things. So if you put this on your fuzzy meeples, or if you put it in your pocket, it gets dirty, but it's really cool that they kind of thought of that for their honey pieces. You've got 26 order cards broken into large orders and small orders. You've got 17 configuration cards, which you'll see that's how you build your honeycombs. 24 Queen's Contest cards, which are the different ones that you'll see here, where you have your different objectives, and depending on how many players you have, first, second, and third will get a certain amount of money for completing those in that order. Now, if you have 2 players or 3 players, unfortunately, you don't get the money for coming in last. So say if you have 3 players, first person to get it and the second person to get it are the only ones to get the money. Third player gets nothing. Then you have the 10 drone cards, which those are used if you are playing this one player, so you have some extra things that you can do. You have 2 drone beeples, which are woods, for again, if you're doing your single player. 1 first player marker, which is the little honeycomb looking thing here, which I'll say in a bit, and of course the rule book. Here are your player pieces. So as you can see, you have 4 different colors to choose from, which you've got blue, pink, green, and yellow. Now, I've shown you the 2 different pieces down here. This is your player piece that comes with the box. This is the collector's pieces down here at the bottom. So you've got your cardboard pieces down here, and then you've got the wooden ones that are down here that are thicker and are just, this one's a little fuzzy because it's supposed to be your pollen bee, but then this one is a piece of wood. Now, all of these pieces are the exact same. These are your starter pieces, and each one has the colors specifically to your character. So as you can see, this one here is pink and has the pink backs to show you that these are your starter pieces. And this is going to look like this at the beginning. Now this one here has a star piece on it because that one is showing that this is for beginners. So if you've never played the game before, this is the one that they recommend starting with so that you understand the game a little bit easier. But these are also your cheat sheets. These are the ways that you have to build your honey pieces. So if you want to do a wildflower, then you have to build it like this. But then the hardest one here, the acacia, you have to build like this because all the pieces have these different colors on the sides here. So as you can see, this piece right here has red in it, and then the piece down here has yellow in it. So you have to connect these pieces as such to be able to do the different acts, and depending on which way you build it is the different pieces that you get. So the easiest one is the wildflower, which all 3 have red pieces on the sides. The acacia has 4 of these little yellow pieces. So as you can see, it takes 5 pieces to do an acacia compared to 3 for a wildflower. Then you just have your home here, and you have all the worker bees. You have 10 worker bees total. And those little guys can go off and start doing everything that you need, like your foraging, like your pollinating, going to the market, your deeds, everything like that. Now, of course, whenever you're going to start playing, you have to figure out who goes first, right? Well, that's whoever woke up first. You get to hold this little guy the entire game to show that you woke up first. And then once you figure out that, it goes clockwise from there. But this is how it looks if you're doing a 4-player game. If you do a 3rd-player game or a 2-player game, then you see these little numbers down here that tell you how many of these should be filled in. But we're going to do this for a 4-player because that's the average player. You've got your market down here, and it shows you which different honey pieces that you need in order to complete those. And then each one has a number on the side that tells you how much that one's worth. So for this one, it is a small order, and you would get 7 points if you were to get the rosemary and the cherry blossom. But if you had more pieces, you could go for this one over here for a large order, which is worth 8 points on this in particular one, but you would need a wildflower, a rosemary, and an acacia. If you were to complete an order, then you would be able to do whatever this little symbol down here is at the bottom. So if you were able to complete this order here, you would be able to forage again, or if you were to complete this order here, you would be able to go to market again. Once you are out of orders, then everybody takes one last turn, and then the game is over. Now you will see these little honey pieces and your pollen pieces right here, which again, you need to be able to complete your orders. But say that you don't have any and you need money, well, you can sell your honey and your pollen. Or if you don't have anything to do on your market, you can sell. Now, the whole point of the game is to get as much as you can done for your queen bee. As you sell, though, these do start to drop in how much they're worth. So you start at the very top for every single one of these. But say if you were to sell a wildflower piece, then you would get 6 coins worth, and then you would have to drop this down 1. So then the next time that you sell a wildflower, it's only worth 5, and it drops down again. Once 4 of the 5 hit the very bottom, then the game is over. Now, once these are gone from the map, then you would be able to still move your character. So say if you were to move right here, you could get a pollen for that. But once these are gone, they are gone. You do not get any more of these pieces. Now this here is your hive board, which of course is where all of the workers are going to be. They're going to be moving from place to place. As you can see, there's the different types here. You've got the bee people on the top left, or your babies. You've got the middle left, which is the decree. That one you do have to pay 5 coins in order to get one of those, but the decree piece there is any of the other 5. So you can use it as making a baby bee, you can make it to get your 5 coins, foraging, fanning, or going to market. That is completely up to you. You've got, of course, the money one where you get 5 of your coins. You have your foraging one on the top right. You have the fanning on the right middle, and then you have the market on the bottom right. Now, those cards that I was talking about in regards to the special things that you can do are going to be sitting here in the middle, and you will put, if it's 3 or 4 players, you will put whatever number is the first amount that you get on top of that for them to grab. Now, to first start playing, you do get to place 1 worker bee in any place that you want to put it. So for this, I'm going to put it right here. And that way you say that you are now making a baby, which that will go into the little section here on the right. I'm going to put him right here. And then you can take that tile that is attached to that and feed it over to your honeycomb, which I'm going to show you where that's going to go later. So grab that. And then you also get to place your bee inside of the middle here when you activate the honeycomb, which I'll show, of course, later. But you put your bee right here. And then when you recall all of your bees, then you get to pull all of them that you've placed in these places, as well as your baby bees to go back in. Now, one thing I will say is if somebody else needs to go into that area, so say if I was going to go into this first baby area, but then Matt wanted to also create a baby, you have to put 2 here for him to be able to go into that spot. Now, any person after that has to add to it. So the first person puts 1 bee in, the second person puts 2 bees in, and if you are the third person to go into that area, you have to add 3 more. It's not add 2 to what you already have. You have to put 3 more of your worker bees in there to have 4 total, or it would be 4 total. So it goes up and up the more that people want to be in there, and of course that means you have to have more worker bees, so it's best to get a lot of them off the bat if that's the way you want to play. And that is the Honey Buzz game. Again, we have another video that is separate to this to kind of show you how it is. It does take about an hour to 2 depending on how many people that you have playing the game. So that's why we're putting it separate, because it is a longer video of just us playing the game. But this game is a lot of fun, as we thought it would be. But it's a lot of fun. It's challenging, but I'd say teenagers probably would be able to play this and up. For kids that are under 10 or so, probably would take a little bit of time to understand it, but teenage and up is great for this. If you are a competitive player, you'll see in our other video, Matt is extremely competitive when it comes to playing board games. So it's for competitive people, and then it's also for people like Tara and I who are playing with him, who we don't really have a plan going in. We just kind of play because it's cute, but it was a lot of fun anyway, whichever way you play. So overall, I would say 8 out of 10. There is a lot to put together in this, and if you get all of the extra pieces, there are some board games out there that will have that extra room for the extra pieces. This one does not, so it's kind of a hefty boy whenever you're trying to put it all back together with the extra pieces in it. But the extra pieces do come in these cute little honeycomb shaped boxes. I just don't like having separate boxes to go with my board game. But the only reason I would give it that 8 out of 10 is because it is a heckin' chonker, and it does take some time to put it together. So it's something that you do have to plan out. You can't just like set it up and go. But overall, it's a super fun game. I definitely recommend for you all checking out Elf Creek Games. They have a lot of different ones out there. This is the first one that I have played from this company, but I do plan on picking up other ones later on. So that is going to do it for the Honey Buzz video. We are going to be breaking down the other Gen Con exclusive board game that we got, which is the Sea of Thieves board game, next time. So definitely check us out on that one. We will be playing that one as well, so show you all what it looks like to play the board game. That one's going to be a lot of fun. I love the Sea of Thieves video game, so we'll see what it's like on a board game. But you will have a good rest of your weekend, and be sure to check out the other video where we play this.